Hello and welcome to another video with me, Rauchenwald. Now in today's video we are going to take a look at the 9 new games that Hai introduced, and with that also at the first method you can potentially use to convert some of your Hai rewards, so the Hai you receive for just answering a random question once per day, into flexible Hai, so Hai that you can already use and either stake for up to 40% interest or, for example, withdraw. If you have no idea what Hai is and you just somehow ended up watching this video, I recommend that you first use the link in the description below to get your own Hai account and start receiving your own Hai rewards. And then click on the card up here to watch some or all of my previous videos about the project, so you're up to date and know what Hai is about and why I think it's probably a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many people out there. That said, before we get started, let's get the usual legal disclaimers out of the way. As always, everything I'm sharing with you in this video is my personal opinion and in no way financial advice. In other words, you should always do your own research or consult professionals to come to your own conclusions and make your own decisions. And one last thing before we take a look at the new games, the new game mechanics, and how you can potentially use them to unlock your Hai rewards today. Some of you might already have heard that Hai is going to provide an updated version of their white paper in the near future, and that update will come with a lot of changes for new and existing users. All high dollar buyers, so people that invested money already to buy additional high dollars, already had the privilege to take a look at the in quotes final draft, and I'll promise I'll release a separate video that will explain all the changes and what they mean to each user very soon. What I can, however, already take away is that from what I've seen so far, these changes are going to be very positive for the entire Hai ecosystem and as such for every single user out there as well. And this is, by the way, a hint that if you're using Hai and you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, now is the time so you don't miss out on any future updates as well. That's it. Now let's finally talk about the new games and how you can use them to already unlock some of your rewards. Let's start by quickly covering the general changes and requirements that happened since Hai introduced their first game called Hai Flyer a while back. As you may know, the original Hai Flyer game offered a practice mode, but outside of that practice mode, each attempt actually cost users one flexible Hai. And while that one Hai ended up in the prize pool that was shared among the best players on the leaderboard, considering the value of $1 to almost $1.50 per Hai, it could quickly turn into a relatively expensive form of entertainment. Thankfully, Hai didn't just introduce 9 additional games this time, but also changed the overall game mechanics, so that now instead of playing directly with your flexible Hai balance, games now require game coins that you can get by exchanging either your flexible Hai or, and that's in my opinion for many users incredible news, your Hai rewards. In other words, if you don't want to wait for your Hai rewards to unlock, you can now use them in any of the 10 Hai games within Hai Play. There is, however, a small catch to all of this. First, when you use flexible Hai to get game coins, you receive 100 game coins for each Hai that you convert, while when you use your Hai rewards, you only receive 12 game coins per Hai. Personally, I think that's more than fair considering that people using flexible Hai actually invested money, while Hai rewards are received for simply answering a question once per day. Second, while you can convert game coins back into flexible Hai at a rate of 1 Hai per 100 game coins, you can only convert game coins that you won. And I know that might seem restrictive, but it's obviously needed to prevent people from just exchanging all their Hai rewards this way without actually playing the games. And last but not least, just like most other features, you have to pass at least KYZ level 1 to access Hai Play in the first place. This shouldn't come as a surprise since the KYZ verification is anyways required to use Hai in general. And if you're curious about the currently 2 different KYZ verification levels and what they're needed for, I recommend that you click on the card up here to check out the video I made about that in the past as well. Obviously, now that you know that you can convert game coins that you won back into flexible Hai dollars and that you can use this to start turning some or all of your Hai rewards already into flexible Hai, I'm sure you want to know more about the games that are available and how winnings are actually distributed. The first thing to know is the currently 10 games available are separated into hourly, daily and weekly tournaments. Games with an hourly leaderboard require 10 game coins per attempt, games with a daily leaderboard require 5 game coins per attempt, and games with a weekly leaderboard require 2 game coins per attempt. One important and really positive aspect to point out here is also that from all the game coins spent to play the games, 20% are actually burned and the remaining 80% go into the prize pool. Which means high play helps reduce the circulating supply of high, which is obviously something that's in the interest of everyone that holds high in any form. The 80% of game coins that end up in the prize pool are then split up again 50-50, and one half is distributed as shown on the screenshot among the top 15 players. So as you can see, the first player receives 20%, the second player 10%, the third 5%, the fourth 3%, the fifth 2%, and the players from place 6 to 15th 1% each. And the other half of the prize pool is split equally among the top 25% of players, which means that overall 1/4 of all players actually ends up with a share of the prize pool. In other words, if you're reasonably good at any of the 10 games that you're going to see in this video, they not only offer you a way to turn high rewards into flexible high much sooner, but also potentially to win more flexible high in general. However, it's important to remind yourself that at the end of the day you are using real cryptocurrency to play, and there's also the chance that you don't win anything at all. And now that we've covered all the basics, let's take a look at each of the games. For that, I'm going to share my screen with you guys here, and since there are 5 games with an hourly leaderboard, 3 with a daily leaderboard and 2 with a weekly leaderboard, we'll need a total of 69 game coins to try each game once. Now in order to get those game coins, I have to press the yellow coin icon in the top left corner and decide if I either want to convert 1 flexible high to receive 100 game coins or 6 rewards high to receive 72 game coins. And just to show you that both options work just fine, I'm going to convert 1 flexible high and 1 rewards high for a total of 112 game coins. So I'm going to start off by converting, as you can see, 1 flexible high for 100 game coins or game chips. I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions and press convert. And you can see that I've successfully purchased 100 game chips with 1 high flexible. Now we press browse games to get rid of the dialog, and we go back into the exchange dialog, and here now I'm going to select rewards high and go back here, and again, as said, I'm also going to convert only 1. So again, I agree to the terms and conditions and press convert, and you can see that I now also converted successfully 1 rewards high for 12 additional game chips for, as said, a total of 112 game chips or game coins. Now that's done, let's get started and take a quick look at each of the games. The first one that we see is the one we already know from the past, and it's called High Flyer. So let's take a look at how that game actually works, if there has been any changes, or if everything is as it used to be. You see currently the prize pool is 1,268 chips, and 38 players are active in this hourly session, and I basically just have to press here for play now to also go to the game itself. As you can see on the top, you have the leaderboard and the countdown for the current leaderboard session. So there are 14 minutes left in this session. I haven't played yet, that's why my score is 0, and each attempt costs 10 chips as mentioned earlier in the video. So I'm going to press start now and start the game. So you should remember that game, I'm not very good at it, but basically every time the rocket points upwards, you have to push it and basically collect coins, or those green dots, the hearts, and the rockets that speed you up. As you can see, I'm definitely not the best. Also, if you collect that space guy, or whatever it is, astronaut, yeah, it gives you a boost and you fly up faster. Plus, additionally, there's also the other icon that's like a magnet, and that basically increases the area of attraction, so from where or how far away you attract coins and other things that you can collect. And the game goes on until you basically run out of hearts. So every time I push the screen, it gives a short boost to the rocket, ideally in the upwards direction if you do it right. And as long as you have hearts, you keep going on, and basically, yeah, like in this case, it ended now, and my score now is a total of 8,157, although you see that it's quite far away from the first 3 players on the leaderboard, so I don't expect to win anything here. Anyway, as said, we're going to look at the next game. So we go back here, it takes a moment, and we also have to go back here, and the next one would be called High Miner. Now, I don't know any of the other games. I didn't try them before recording this video, so I'll just have to learn as I go. As you can see, it's also an hourly tournament, so we just enter, play now, go to the game, and we'll just have to learn it as we go since there is currently no practice mode available. So start now, and let's see, it says minor, but I don't know what I have to do. Okay, so got it. So you just have to basically be quite fast to, yeah, like I died. So that was not fast. What's my score? Okay, we don't see the leaderboard ranking here, do we? Okay, we see it. 1,800, so I definitely suck at that. But I think that's something that should be quite easy in quotes to master, because it's not as random as the high flyer game. You just have to avoid the solar panels or whatever that are on one side here and there, collect the bonus icons that are sometimes on one side, and just push the buttons as fast as you can. However, I'm not going to try this again for now. We're just going to move on to the next game. So back we go, and the next would be High Skier. Again, it's an hourly tournament, so we press play now, and once it's loaded, we actually just press start now and try to figure it out. So tap to play. I said I have no idea what I have to do. Okay, so every time I push the screen, it actually changes direction, and I have obviously to avoid the obstacles, yeah, like this. So, and you can collect some bonus stuff. So yeah, I know I'm not crushing it here. Again, score 1,688, high score 45,000. So, but that's definitely also something that with some practice people should get, or it should be possible to actually achieve decent scores. However, the same applies for all the other players, which makes it then again competitive. Anyway, back we go and look for the next game, which would be High Jumper. Again, no idea what that is. It's also an hourly tournament, 18 players, smaller prize pool. We press play, and once it's loaded, we just jump in there and see what we have to do. So start now, and okay, so here we just basically change sides, and we have to avoid running into walls. So we just have to keep jumping until we don't fall into a hole. As you can see, I really suck at those games, and hopefully you are better. But that High Jumper game also again seems like something that should be, in quotes, easy to learn or master. My score is obviously ridiculous compared to the high scores, but yeah, we just move on and see what else High has to offer. And we actually move on to the last hourly game, which is called High Hitter. So we press enter, we press play now, we wait a little bit for it to load, and then eventually we press the start now button. And here it's High Hitter, so I have to, I don't know what I have to hit, like, so far it's, okay, now it gets challenging. So the blue arrows have to go into the blue, the pink ones have to go into pink, and you have a certain time, and when you hit the same arrow again, you already lose. That seems a little bit harder than the previous games that we saw, but also actually possible to master. I assume that over time more colors are introduced in those circles, or the speed of the circle spinning gets faster, but overall still like a decent game actually. I might try that after recording the video, because that actually seems like would be something for me. Anyways, for the purpose of this video, we move on and we get to the first daily tournament, which would be High Shooter. And again, play now. Now keep in mind, the daily tournaments and the weekly tournaments are cheaper in terms of game coins than the hourly tournaments, because there are also not as often winners. We press start now. Let's check. There are like currently, we don't see, we saw it on the previous screen, but we see the prize pool, 4,488 chips. Anyway, let's start that and tap to play. So we have, I don't know, like, can I do something here? We're gonna try that one more time, because I feel like my phone didn't show all the, okay, I can activate Vortex or Plasma, so I'm gonna go with Plasma. Okay, and every time I tap my, okay, so I can drag my spaceship around and use it to shoot at things, but you saw that those circles have numbers in them, so I assume that's how often you have to hit them. or you just have to get out of the way of those circles so you don't take damage. Definitely a fast game, so even from the start, quite fast gameplay, and definitely nothing for me, but who knows, maybe it's something for you. We move on to the next daily tournament, which is High Spinner, and we see 120 players so far, 3,400 in the prize pool, and play now. And we wait for the loading to finish, and then we again jump into the game to just see how it works. And yeah, there we go, start now. And it's High Spinner, so I can press something here. Okay, so every time I press, the rocket actually turns around. And we have to avoid those, those whatever projectiles that are shot randomly. And every time, now I got hit, That also seems like something that with some practice definitely should be, like you should be able to get definitely better scores than I do. Anyway, for us, we move on from High Spinner to the next one, the next daily tournament, which would be High Flipper. And again, we press enter, play now, and let's see what we got there once we start the game. So far, I have to say I like most of the games. Definitely. Can I just endlessly flip here? Okay, so every time I press the screen, I can flip, but it looks like I can only double flip. So that seems like it's the most. So you have to consider how often you flip to get to the next platform. And if you hit it like I did just, you fall down and you lose. Definitely not a game for me, but again, something that likely just with some practice you could get better at. We move on from High Flipper to the next, and that would be already the weekly. Now let's double check. We had High Flyer, Miner, Skier, Jumper, Hitter, Shooter, Spinner, Flipper. Okay, so we are now at the last two games, and the first one, High Cruiser, is the first weekly tournament, which is the cheapest to play because you only have to play, or you only require 2 game coins per attempt. Now let's see what that game has to offer for us. And we're gonna press start. And okay, so it's tap to play. Okay, that's a little bit like Flappy Bird, and I literally sucked and hit the first wall. I'm gonna try that one again. Not a huge fan of Flappy Bird, or by that I mean I'm not good at it. Yeah, okay, that's really going to be the one game that's going to be super frustrating. I'm not going to waste another attempt here for the purpose of this video, but I probably will waste some later. And we actually move on from High Cruiser to the last new game, and that is High Switcher. And again, weekly tournament requires 2 game chips per attempt. And we're just going to press the play button once it's loaded and to see what we've got there. So start now. And so I have to, now I have an orange rocket, so I have to fly through the orange area. And every time here it changes my color. Now I have a red rocket, so I can only fly through red. And now I have an orange rocket again, and I hit the blue bar, and so I died. So that's definitely also something that people with some practice could actually master. And with that, we actually went through all the 10 games, so the old High Flyer game plus the 9 new games. Personally, I have to say I like most of the games. Like, obviously I suck at all of them, but that could change if I spend some more time practicing. And I think it's worth a try for most people out there, especially if you enjoy card games like this. If you get good at one of those games so that you are reasonably often among at least the top 25% on the leaderboard, then it should be a great way to not only potentially convert your high rewards if you don't want to wait for them to unlock through another way, or to win some extra flexible high from other players that are not as good as you. Anyway, that's it. And as you can see, the team at High hasn't been idle, and in my opinion did an excellent job with the new games. And even more so with the introduction of game coins to make all games more affordable, and on top of that, make it possible for all users to use their high rewards in games as well. Now, while as you saw, I personally suck at most games, I'm really sure that some of you will have no problem crushing the leaderboards and enjoying the additional flexible high you can win this way. As always, if you have any questions whatsoever, simply leave them in the comments down below, or even better, use the link in the description or the first pinned comment down below to join our Discord community and discuss Hai, their new games and other projects with me and the community there. Thanks for watching, see you in one of my other videos, till then, bye bye!